Here's a reminder that Amazon Luna is still a thing that exists for some reason. I don't understand why. There's no way that they're actually succeeding with this thing, and it's just going to end up inevitably as another Google Stadia that will shut down and just be done with, but they're holding on to it for whatever reason. But I think it's obvious to anyone that this thing's already cooked. There's no way that Amazon Luna has a chance of ever being successful. Amazon itself, their whole foray into the video game industry has been a complete failure. Everything they've tried to do has failed miserably. People talked about Concord and how much of a failure that was for Sony. Well, 4 years ago, Amazon came out with a similar game called Crucible that also took years to develop and hundreds of millions of dollars to make, and ended up getting shut down within 5 months after it got released. And they seem to really be getting into MMOs right now. They came out with New World a few years ago, which hasn't been very successful, but they had another one called Lost Ark, which has actually done relatively well. But for the most part, Amazon's entire presence in the video game industry has been nothing but a joke. The biggest joke of them all, of course, being Amazon Luna, which came out in 2022 and has not really gained any ground since its launch. And it has even less to offer to the consumer than even Google Stadia did. I mean, it's better in the sense that the way they're monetizing it is that all the games are included in the subscription instead of what Google Stadia did, where you had to pay individually for each game. And that was a problem because the future of Google Stadia was in question since its very beginning. So to put hundreds of dollars or maybe even thousands of dollars into video games, buying them individually for Stadia, what happens if Stadia shuts down? You're pretty much fucked. So even if the technology was good and it was actually a good gaming experience, I would have not touched anything. I would not have purchased games on Stadia at all. But with Amazon Luna and their $10 a month subscription, it's a little bit more appealing than what Google was trying to do with their Stadia platform. That being said, the 100 plus games that they have to offer are absolute shit. I mean, I'll scroll them through the screen so you can see what I'm talking about here. It's very underwhelming, to say the least. And you don't really have any modern games on there. It's usually games that are at least a few years old, and it's just very sporadic. Like, you have Kingdom Come Deliverance, you have Saints Row 3, but no other Saints Row game, and it's just like random-ass games that are put on there, but the vast majority of them are indie games that I, quite frankly, have never heard of in my life. But the only new releases that you get day one on Luna is Ubisoft games, but that requires an extra $8 a month for Ubisoft Plus, so you're paying $18 a month, which is comparable to the price of Game Pass Ultimate, right? But you get a lot more games out of Game Pass Ultimate, including the EA library, which, in my opinion, is a lot more enticing than Ubisoft at this point. And then, of course, all the first-party Microsoft games, a whole bunch of third-party games that keep coming and going on Game Pass. It's just, as much as I hate Game Pass, and I have a lot to say about that, and I've said it a lot over the years, it's night and day if we're comparing that to Amazon Luna, even with the Ubisoft Plus add-on. I think what their strategy is that they're just hoping that this thing miraculously takes off on its own without them putting any real effort into it, because they just think that game streaming is going to become the mainstream, and they're already having a market presence will bode well for them long term. And remember, Amazon is really the only company that can truly compete with Microsoft when we're talking about their cloud technology. So it makes a lot of sense, like if you're just thinking of it on surface level, why they're involved in the streaming market, in the game streaming market, but I strongly doubt that this is ever going to be profitable for them. I just don't see it. There's no way that they can turn it around. If after 2 years it's been the way it's been, I don't know how it's gonna suddenly just be like this amazing thing with all these games. And like, if they would have made the proper investments into it by now, if they really were committed to this service and this platform. And with how expensive game streaming is and having that technology and running all those servers, I don't see them realistically being able to withstand for much longer without them being like, yeah, we got to kill this. I think they'd be better served if a different company wanted to get involved in streaming to compete with Game Pass that would be better equipped to. Let's say Sony, for example. I know they have PlayStation Now, but PlayStation Now is a garbage service that runs games at a pathetic frame rate. It runs like shit. It's horrible. I've tried it, and it's just abysmal, right? But let's say they partner with Amazon, you know, like, or something like that, or a different company. I think that's really their best path, is to just license their cloud technology to a different company that wants to get into the game streaming. And, you know, because Amazon is really just, they don't know what they're doing when it comes to the video game industry and how to have a successful gaming project. And Amazon Luna is definitely the biggest example of that, but even the games that they have published, for the most part, have been complete flops. So, yeah, I'll give Luna another year, 2 years tops before it completely shuts down and is done for. When it was all said and done, Google Stadia lasted a little bit over 3 years. It launched in November of 2019 and shut down in January of 2023. I can't see Amazon lasting much longer than Google did in the cloud market, but the entire cloud business model itself is deeply flawed because it's catered towards people who don't have access to a console or a PC and don't necessarily have the money or don't want to put all that money in to all these gaming systems and everything. So they have streaming where you don't have to pay. I think you have to pay like $70 for the initial kit for Luna, like the controller and everything, but it's a lot less, obviously, than a brand new gaming PC for over $1,000 or a brand new console for over $500. But the problem is, in order for this streaming technology to properly work and be good, it's for you to live in a very rich and developed part of the world, like a big city, where you have like 1 gigabit per second internet speeds. But the thing is, people who are more likely to be underserved and not able to get a new console or a PC are people that live in areas that don't have the best internet connection, right? But this relies entirely on internet. So I think it's deeply flawed as a concept, the whole cloud gaming thing, because these are generally higher income economic areas that have really good internet that is required to run these services, and those are the people who don't even need one to begin with, because they'll likely have no problem being able to buy a new console or a PC or whatever. So I don't think Luna would have been able to succeed regardless, to be fair, but it's like one of these things where they just like, why is it not shut down at this point? It should be, and it inevitably will be within the next couple of years. That's a very safe prediction to make. Granted, it's not like, oh my god, I'm like this fucking psychic that can predict that a failing service is going to shut down, and I still find that so funny years later, because I made a video in early 2021 predicting that Stadia was going to shut down in 2023, and it shut down in 2023, but back then when I made that video, I got more dislikes than likes. Bunch of Stadia fanboys were jumping into my comment section, calling me a hater, saying that I was wrong, and all these different things. And you could actually see that video and me going back to it and replying to almost every single comment, pretty much rubbing it in their face, because they were so obnoxious about me being wrong and how Stadia was actually this great thing, and it was going to last forever and it was never going to shut down. So I had a field day with that. Let's see if there's going to be any Amazon Luna fanboys in the comment section for this video. I'd be amazed to see. I mean, I haven't seen any personally in my entire life. I've never encountered a single person talking about Amazon Luna at all. But we'll see if they're out there anywhere, and if they're in my comment section, and how many dislikes this video is going to get from Amazon Luna fanboys. I know it sounds ridiculous, but don't be surprised if they're out there. So take a look at the comments and see, and laugh at them, just like we all did a few years ago with the people defending Stadia. But yeah, let me know in the comments section, what are your thoughts on Amazon Luna, and how much longer do you think it's gonna last? I mean, there's really not much to say about Luna, so I doubt the comment section is gonna be very active, because there's really nothing to say. It pretty much speaks for itself, but I'm interested to see what you guys have to say anyway. And yeah, thank you all for watching. My channel's been... It's been gaining a lot of momentum lately, so I appreciate each and every one of you who's been supporting the channel, watching my videos, subscribing, and all that. I just wanted to make a little shout out to everyone who's been supporting the channel lately. It means a lot to me. You guys have no idea. It's amazing to see. So, again, I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.